Welcome to my Vision News, another video for you. First news story is from Shire. Ethiopian federal government today released first statement about the implementation of peace agreement, especially about the implementation of one of the major clauses of peace agreement, that is disarming of Tigray fighters. Some meetings have started in Shire. Are the meetings about surrendering of light weapons or heavy weapons? Because I reported around 24 hours ago that Tigray forces had surrendered some heavy weapons. We have details for you. Secondly, mayor of a city in Oromia is in the custody of Oromo Liberation Army fighters. His interviews are being aired by pro-OLA news sources. And thirdly, viewers, Tigray authorities, Tigray government officials, Tigray official news sources, they have been claiming since the signing of the peace agreement last month that Eritrean military and Amhara forces were continuing their atrocities against Tigrayans in the areas under EDF, Amhara, ENDF control. Eritrean side remained largely silent. But today, Yamane Gebremeskel, Eritrean Information Minister, addressed these allegations. He tweeted in response to an article published in the Bloomberg. What did he say? Apart from rejecting the claims of atrocities, he said another important thing. He seems to be saying that this is a deliberate campaign to provide TPLF with a justification to go against TPLF's commitments. Details for you. Firstly, viewers, Ethiopian federal government today released its first statement about implementation of the peace agreement, especially about the implementation of disarmament of Tigray fighters. Because we know that several things are happening in the background, but the two sides are silent. Government today said that yesterday, on the 30th of November, meetings started in Shire, a town of Tigray. The meetings involve Tigray military commanders and Ethiopian federal government officials. The meetings will be held, it will continue, the meetings will continue in the next few days, and a detailed plan will be chalked out regarding disarming, demobilization and reintegration of TPLF combatants, Tigray fighters. The meeting started, but the statement says that it has been delayed. This process of disarmament has been delayed. But in coming days, the things will be finalized. Delay is due to technical factors, government says. Now, question, viewers, is this engagement between Tigray and Tigray region and Ethiopian federal government, is it about surrendering of heavy weapons or light weapons? This committee, which is called Technical Planning Joint Committee, which has been formed, which is meeting in Shire, is it discussing surrendering of heavy weapons by Tigray forces or light weapons? Well, the committee is tasked with discussions on surrendering of light weapons, not heavy weapons. Why do I say that? Because if you read the agreement signed in Kenya, Nairobi, in that agreement there is mention of this committee, that a committee will be formed which will chalk out detailed plans about disarmament of Tigray fighters, about surrendering of light weapons, not heavy weapons. It means Tigray forces are already surrendering heavy weapons, or they have already surrendered all of their heavy weapons. 2 days ago, I reported that Tigray forces surrendered some tanks, artillery pieces, MLRS, mortars in Mehoni. And the formation of this committee is an indication that maybe first phase has been partially completed. First phase was surrendering of heavy weapons. Second phase is surrendering of light arms, which is a longer phase because there are more than 200,000 Tigray fighters. So disarming them, then giving them money, issuing them demobilization cards, and integrating them in society, in forces, in departments. It will take some time. Surrendering of light arms will take some time. And that is what is being discussed in Shire. That is what I have learned and I have understood from the two agreements signed in Pretoria and Nairobi, Kenya, that heavy weapons have been partially or completely surrendered by Tigray forces. Now, discussions are underway regarding surrendering of light arms. So, progress is being made gradually, and Eritrean military is also withdrawing gradually from some areas of Tigray. Both things are happening simultaneously. Eritrean military's withdrawal and surrendering of heavy weapons both happened concurrently. Secondly, viewers, Oromo Liberation Army fighters abducted mayor of a city a few days ago. The mayor is now being shown on pro-OLA news outlets. He's being interviewed. His name is Ephraim Nedjo. Ephraim Nedjo is from Nedjo. Nedjo town is in West Valley. A few days ago, I did a video when OLA fighters entered Nedjo. There, they released some prisoners. They captured the mayor there, who is still in the custody of OLA fighters. Later, OLA fighters withdrew, or they had to withdraw. They retreated from Nedjo. They did the same in Nakamte too. They entered Nakamte, then they retreated. Nedjo is in West Vailaga. And some other government officials and government soldiers were taken prisoner apart from the mayor in Nedjo. It happened around 2 weeks ago, I think. Around 2 weeks ago, OLA fighters entered Nedjo. Mayor still in the custody of OLA. Thirdly, was Eritrean Information Minister today for the first time officially responded to Tigray's claims that Eritrean military, despite the peace agreement, is committing atrocities against Tigrayans in the areas of Tigray under EDF, ENDF, Amhara control. We know that since the signing of the agreement last month, Tigray regional government, Gatha Choreda, Tigray official news sources all have been claiming that Eritrean military was involved in grave human rights abuses which were committed after the signing of the agreement. Eritrean government remained largely silent, but today Yemane Gebremeskel spoke. He spoke in response to an article published in the Bloomberg. Simon Marks wrote this article, I think. Simon Marks quoted TPLF authorities and anonymous sources. Based on these sources, he claimed that dozens of innocent civilians had been killed by Eritrean military in Tigray after the signing of the agreement. Looting was underway, kidnappings were underway, and Eritrean military's actions were a threat to the peace agreement. Yemane today denied all these allegations. He said these are outrageous accusations and these are part of a campaign. Purpose, objective of this campaign is to provide TPLF with an excuse to violate the peace agreement signed. Eritrean government is categorically rejecting committing of any atrocities against Tigrayans in Tigray after the signing of the peace agreement. This is Eritrean first position of the Eritrean government about the atrocities claims being made by Tigray regional government. And Yemane is in the habit of rejecting each and every report of international media. Eritrean Information Ministry, I can quote lots of messages from Yemane in the past in which he rejected all reports. According to him, all international news outlets are biased against Eritrea. Everyone is biased against Eritrea. Whoever reports about human rights abuses in Eritrea or by Eritrean military in Tigray or other parts of the world, it is rejected by Eritrean government. The Eritrean government never shares details about what is happening in Eritrea or what is its military doing in Tigray. How many were deployed there? Eritrean military is deployed. It was deployed in the first and third rounds of fighting. Though when I reported that in August, I remember several viewers, they criticized me. They said they were unsubscribing. And later you saw that the two governments, Ethiopian government, the two regional government of Tigray and Ethiopian federal government, they agreed in Pretoria and in Kenya that all foreign forces would leave Tigray. Which foreign forces are in Tigray? Eritreans. So they were involved, but they kept on denying. They remained silent and their activists kept on denying.